Where do you go when you want to go higher? See places and things, and it never expires. A book can take you anywhere. Turn the pages and you'll be there. Come on, join us, you'll see. We're reading with Carylee.
Hi, friends, and thanks for joining us for another Read with Carylee. We have amazing authors, and I am just ready in my little book nook to hear another amazing story today. So we have author John Light Jr., and he is the great author of a series. Well, we're getting into a series of books now. We've had one book, which Mr. John Light Jr. joined me for a Facebook Live a few months ago. And now we get to hear the second book. So I am so excited to welcome back Mr. John Light Jr.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Officially on the Read with Carylee show, because last time we were on Facebook Live, so now we get to really get in depth
Yeah.
into Mr. John Light and his books about Pip and Josh. So I'm going to turn it over to you while you dive into the story with us. Welcome, Mr. John Light Jr. Take it away.
All righty. So this is my series here. The name of my books is The Adventures of Joshua and Pip. And this is the second book in the series, which is The Adventures of Joshua and Pip, Calvin the Catfish. So let's get into this book, and I hope you guys enjoy. Once upon a time, on a humidly hot day, Pip and Joshua met on Ogeechee Hill. Pip held 2 fishing rods. Joshua carried a bucket and a can of worms. They were going to Ogeechee Lake to fish. Have y'all ever been fishing before? Mr. John goes fishing, but it doesn't always turn out right. As they walked up Greentown Road, they passed a sign that read, "Will you catch Calvin the Catfish?" Pip's eyes widened. "I'm going to catch Calvin," he explained. Joshua reasoned, "I just want to catch a fish." And there is Calvin right there, the biggest fish in the lake. When they arrived, the lake was crowded. It seemed like the whole town was there. They heard 2 old men talking close by. Can y'all see the 2 old men? Yeah, they're over there by that red truck. Yeah. "I know I felt my line jump. I almost had him. I know it," exclaimed the man in the brown jacket. "Oh man, you didn't feel a thing except your belly growling. I'm the one that almost caught Calvin." They continued to argue. "Besides, you didn't bring the saltwater taffy like I told you. Everyone knows you need taffy to lure Calvin." Pip turned to Joshua. "Do we have any taffy?" "No, we have worms," Joshua said. "Gummy worms?" Pip hoped. "No, wormy worms," Joshua explained. "But I do have some cherry bubble gum." "That will have to do," Pip decided. The boys found an empty spot on the lake. They baited their lines. Joshua used worms. Pip used bubble gum. You see the worms? You see the bubble gum right there? They casted their lines, and then they waited and waited and waited some more. They heard a shout. 3 sisters each pulled a brown bass out of the lake. Oh, look, you see the brown bass? They caught them at the same time, simultaneously. Then there was another celebration. A teenage boy caught 4 flapping crappies at once. Look at that. Can you say that 3 times fast? 4 flapping crappies? You can try that later. But Pip and Joshua had not caught anything. The boys continued to wait. An hour passed. The sisters packed up their fish and went home. Another hour passed. The teenager took off. He was happy with his haul. The boys continued to wait. Who's ever been fishing before? Sometimes you don't catch anything. Finally, the sun began to rest its eyes in the western sky. The once crowded lake was now empty. Only Pip and Joshua were left. Joshua asked, "Are you ready to go? It's getting dark." Just as Pip was about to reel in his line, something snatched at it. Pip held on as tight as he could. "Help! I got something, Joshua," Pip pleaded. Joshua grabbed Pip. The line pulled them to the left and then the right. Then the line pulled them forward. They pulled backwards. Suddenly, a great big monster of a fish leapt out of the lake. Pip and Joshua were astonished. It was Calvin the Catfish. It seemed to wink and smile as it soared through the sky. Then it plunged back into the Ogeechee. Water splashed everywhere. They were drenched. They lost their fishing rods, but there were fish all around them. They collected the fish. "No one is ever going to believe we saw Calvin the Catfish," Pip proclaimed. "I know," Joshua agreed, "but I will never forget the look on Calvin's face," Joshua mimicked. Pip and Joshua laughed as they walked home down Greentown Road. And that is the end of this Joshua and Pip adventure.
Hi, Carylee. Ashley Mills Monahan here. I just wanted to say thank you for having me on your show this season to share all about my award-winning book, A Little Goes a Long Way. And congratulations on everything you have in store for season 2. You are doing such wonderful work with your show to inspire our children with books and reading. So keep it up, and I look forward to your next season of the Read with Carylee Show.
With Carylee.
That was surely an adventure, and I was going to the left and to the right and forward with Josh and Pip. And well, you said that you, I guess, take the chance on some fishing as well. So, have you ever had a big one like Josh and Pip?
Man, never. Okay. Did you saw what most of the book was about? They waited and they waited and they waited. That's what I usually end up doing when I go fishing. Waiting and waiting. Cast the line, reel the line back in. I have pulled out an eel before. I have caught an eel, which is not something I want to keep. I have caught a boot before. You know, you see on books. Whatever you're like, oh, he caught a, yes, I caught a boot. I pulled a boot out of there. Oftentimes the line gets caught on something and snaps. And most often what happens is I don't even get like the line put on the rod properly. So I usually spend most of the time.
Oh gosh.
It's horrible. It's horrible. However, for my birthday, which was in August the 4th, on my birthday, my family got me a new a fishing gear, like tackle box bag. It has a place for everything. And so because the box that I had, it was falling apart. I mean, it was terrible. It's terrible when I try to go fishing. So hopefully, you know, now that I have some better equipment, I had these bad experiences in my past. I'm going to use those to fuel my next venture. And I'm going to make sure that I get the line put on there properly. So by the time we get out there, all we have to do is just cast and, you know, see if we catch something. So, but yeah, I've never caught a big one. What about you?
I have only been fishing once, and I've caught a little one, and that was it. It was a catch and release, but hopefully now that you can go fishing in style, you can
Mhm.
possibly get a
Yeah,
fish
possibly.
like Calvin.
If I can just cast it and reel it back in, man, I will be happy. Like I don't even need to fish at this jump.
Okay, well, we know that this is the second installment of Josh and Pip, and we actually have a couple questions
Okay.
that have been submitted by some of your fans.
All right.
So we have a question here by from Miss Cheryl,
Mm-hmm.
and she has asked if um, she wants to know what is going to be the next adventure for Joshua and Pip.
All right. So the next adventure for Joshua and Pip is finished. It's finished. I finished writing it. Um,
Ooh,
I haven't sent it to be illustrated yet, but
okay.
what I can say is it's going to be in an apple orchard, which is fitting for this time of year.
Yes.
Actually, we're planning on going to the apple orchard tomorrow.
Okay.
But yeah, it's going to be in the apple orchard, and they're going to have an adventure in the apple orchard with the animals and their friends and things of that nature. You get to learn about some of the different types of apples, but yeah, it's always going to be an adventure, and so that's where it's going to happen. I don't want to give too much of it away.
Nope, nope. Don't give too much away. Let's just leave it right there because
Yep.
we want to make sure that we get our children out there getting your books, and also in your first Joshua and Pip adventure that is now in Espanol.
Yes, it is in Espanol. Yes, it is. It's called Las Aventuras de Joshua y Pip. And a friend of mine that I met, I was trying to learn Spanish. I'm a librarian as well,
Mhm.
and so I'm trying to learn at least enough Spanish in order to help my community, my Spanish-speaking community. And so I found some different avenues to try to learn Spanish, and one of those is kind of like, you know, actually talking to someone who speaks Spanish. And so
Yes.
we became friends, and I asked if they would be willing to translate the book, and they said yes, and so they helped me translate the book, and I was able to get that out. So now all of my books are they're at least in my library system. I'm trying to get them in some other systems in Virginia, but I put the Spanish version on the shelf. I think earlier this week. And then I looked up and it was gone. So it's being checked out. So, it's
Yeah,
good. That feels good when you
that's
put it out there and
awesome.
they check it out.
That's awesome that we're able to get, our little readers, they read in English and in Spanish, and they're able to get those books that they will definitely cherish and be a part of the adventures as well. So before we go, I definitely have to ask you what books or book inspired you when you were growing up?
Now, when I was growing up, what I ended up reading the most were Sports Illustrated magazines,
Okay.
which most people usually don't think about when they think about their children reading. But I
I didn't get
love
basketball.
sports. I love sports. I love sports so much that my mom she had this idea like I'm gonna get them some Sports Illustrated magazines, and they started to come in. They would come in every week, and
Mhm.
I was so now one you get mail like
Yes.
so it's like, oh, I get mail, like what, did I get any mail, and so my book would come. I go to the room, I look at the pictures because it got all kinds of different sports pictures and things. I would go through the whole book looking at the pictures, and I come back, and then eventually I got to the point where I could read. I would read the magazine from beginning to end. I would read everything.
Wow.
Editorials, whatever they were talking about, I would read them from the beginning to the end, and
Mhm.
that's really the main publication or piece of literature that I read. And that's why as a librarian, we tell our parents a lot that, don't get caught up trying to just do like the books that the teachers tell you the teachers or system put on this list, and okay, my child needs to read this book, these books. Like you want to give children things that they're interested in, and then just support that. And that way you don't even have to like make them go read. Like they'll just read on their own. That's what I did. I read on my own. But as far as a story that really played a big part in my growing up, one story is the Wizard of Oz. I used to watch the Wizard of Oz every year on CBS. They would play the Wizard of Oz, and it was like a holiday for me. It was, my mom would be like, the Wizard of Oz coming on tonight. Like, what? The Wizard of Oz coming on tonight? Like, I gotta get ready. I gotta take my shower early, and then I gotta get ready. So I'm gonna watch the whole thing. And so I loved watching the Wizard of Oz. I love the story. I love the colors and the vibrant, the vibrant colors and everything that was going on. And I also have the book. I read the book, The Wonderful Wizard of Oz by L. Frank Baum. And the book, books and movies, you learn as you grow up that a lot of times the movies don't follow the books to a T all the way. And so there's different things that you find in the book. But I love the book. I love the movie. And this story has been with me. As far as I can remember, any story that I can think about, it would be the Wizard of Oz.
Okay, that's awesome. And we also had just one more question.
Okay.
And I don't know, but maybe this is some breaking news.
What?
But are we looking into Josh and Pip for Nick Jr.?
Oh my goodness, that would be wonderful if it transpired. But actually, I think right around maybe about 3 or 4 months ago, someone contacted me about turning it into a cartoon series.
Wow.
And so we haven't. We're still in the very early beginning stages of talking about it. We still like trying to get on each other's schedule to really talk about it. But like this happened during the first book, and so I was like man, like huh?
Yes.
like really, like somebody see it like that. But this person now has worked in the entertainment industry for a few years, and then they're starting their own production company, their own avenue. And so they saw the book, and so they asked me if I had thought about it, or if anybody had contacted me about it. So we're still in the early stages of it. And so we'll see what happens.
Well, we here at Read with Carylee are cheering for you, Josh and Pip. Josh and Pip. Yes, that would be awesome to see it on Nick Jr. on TV,
anyway,
or however we could get that out. Absolutely, and you got your humble beginnings here on Read with Carylee. Yes, and that's what we're all about, trying to get our children reading, whether it be Sports Illustrated or a book. And we thank you, John Light Jr. You are definitely somebody that knows books. You're a librarian. So we love that you have written a children's book. We will love to see the progression of Josh and Pip, the adventures of Josh and Pip. And we hope that you'll be able to join us here again another time. And thank you, our audience at home, for joining us for another Read with Carylee, to celebrate another amazing author. And we will continue to build our Read with Carylee library, as I call it. So make sure you check us out next Saturday for another author. And as always, whether it be a magazine or a book or whatever it might be, grab something and read. Have a great day. Bye.
See you all later.
Thanks for watching another amazing episode of the Read with Carylee Show. We have amazing authors coming by every week. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe below. You don't want to miss a thing.